Hello friends, good morning, good afternoon. In this session, we are going to see summarize the information of temporary object. In the past session, we seen temporary table, table variable, CTE, and derived table. But in this session, we will see summarized information. So you will get clear understanding how to compare each of them. And one more thing, in this session, we are going to understand, which object is use at which place means derived table, city, table variable, local temp table or a global temp table. Okay, yes, these are the five objects means local temp table, global temp table. Okay, from interview point of view, uh, interviewer will ask what is the difference between the local temp table and global temp table. And next thing, this is the first question, and second question is what is the difference between the temp table and table variable. These are the two important questions from interview point of view. These are the temporary objects which is used for to hold the data for temporary purpose. Correct, means let's say in SQL server there is a select star from department. Correct, so department is the physical table and which holds the data permanently. And but we have to hold the data, we have to do any calculation or for time being we have to hold the data, then we can use the temporary objects means like select star into hash temp. So what it does actually in there is a here temporary table is create. Correct, select star from hash temp. Correct, you will get the same data over here because in the background definition will create for the temp table and you will get the temp table data. And instead of that you can create the temporary table as well. Means let's say here is the your definition means script as, and then instead of creating the physical table you have to mention the hash before of that. So I am not using the indexing and all these things here. Here, yeah, if you mention no any hash, then it is the physical table. If you mention hash before of the table, means it is the symbol or a syntax we can say for creating the temporary table. Means hash is nothing but the local temporary table, and double hash means the global temporary table. And if we create it, then you can see select star from department. Correct, it is the local. And if we are going to access it in another session, then we can't access it because the scope of that particular temp table is limited to that particular session only. If we create the global temporary table, then it will accessible in the another session as well. If we close this session, means whatever the sessions we created, there is a, let's say here is the hash global temp department table. So this table will access in another p and then paste that here. So you can access it at here. And suppose I'm closing this session, means let's say I'm closing this session. So what will happen? So here you can't access that global table because last referencing session is cleared, means vanished. That's why you can't access that global temporary table. First of all, if you wanna detail information about all the things, means like temporary table, means there is a local, global, you will get complete information in this session. And then for table variable, then city, then a derived table. Right now we are going to see the summarized information. Correct. First point is the clustered index. When we are creating the primary key, at that time in the background clustered index will create. And one more thing, suppose let's say here is the table, means we are creating the table first, and then while creating the table I am not applied here uh, primary key. So in the background there is a no any clustered index is created. And So I am going to create the clustered index after the table creation, so it will allowed. So that is the purpose behind of this point, means we can create the clustered index after the definition of the temp table is done, or while creating the primary key. Correct. So same case will apply at here for the global temporary table. And in table variable while declare the table, means that definition, while creating the definition of the table variable, at that time we when we apply the primary key to that particular column, then in the background clustered index will create. But in case of the derived table and city, there is a no any possibility to create the clustered index in the background. Correct. Because here we don't have any option to create the definition of that particular, means derived table or a city, whatever the select query come from it, so that will act as a derived table or a city. But here we don't have facility to create the explicitly definition of that particular objects. Okay. Then next point, non-clustered index after the table creation. Yes, in temp table and global template table we can have a facility, means let's say here it's clustered index is already created, then I'm going to create the non-clustered index. Correct. So yes, on name column I have to create the non-clustered index, so it will allow. Yes, after the table creation. Yeah, got it. So yeah, it can be possible. And in table variable it is not possible, because actually while declaring the table we can allow, it can allow to create the clustered index, non-clustered index, but after the table variable declaration it will not allow, it won't allow. Correct. And here we don't have a facility to create the non-clustered index after the table creation, because there is a select query inside it, that's why. And then next thing, storage location. From storage point of view, temporary table and table variable are stored in a temp database, whereas derived table and city are stored in a memory, or we can call it as a RAM as well. And next point is, in one session can we create the object with same name? So for temporary table it is no, and from global temporary table it is no. So I'm going to the one simple example. Let's say here is the temp table is created. Correct. And so if we are going to create the another temp table in the same session, so we will get an error. There is already an object named as a hash temp in the database. Same object we are going to create in another session, so it will allow. First of all, I already created that previously, so in new session you can create the hash temp with, means same name. Here is the hash temp, here is the hash temp. Correct. But session wise it is different. That's why this is the local temp will allow. But when you create the global temporary table at here, so in another session it won't allow. Let's say create table hash temp, means it is the global temporary table. If we are going to create the same global temporary table in the another session, so it won't allow, because that is the unique name for all the sessions. Then next thing, for table variable, means here there is a no error, means variable names must be unique. Let's say if you are declaring the variable and then after that there is a go statement. Let's say um, here is the one session and declare table, sorry, declare hash, sorry, at the rate temp as a table. Correct. Means this is the table variable, and if we are going to create another one in the same session, so it won't allow. Correct. But if you use go in between them, then which is the batch separator, so it will allow, means there is a and one more thing, there is a stored procedure, and one by one you are writing these things, so in stored procedure will also not allow. in same session, if you have to use, then you have to use the batch separator as a go, then you can use that. And one more thing, ideal scenario is best way to differentiate the means table variable temp1 then temp2. So it is the best thing means to identify the each object clearly. And derived table, there is a in one session can we create the objects with same name for the derived table? Yes. For city, yes. Because yeah, suppose I have to create the derived table, then what I will do, select star from, then open parenthesis, and then this is the select query inside it. Right now I made a one simple select query and just allows you the allows for that particular table as a t, means this is the derived table t, where then we can filter it out. And so this is the t object, and same in the same session you can create the derived table with name t, correct? And same with the city as well. How to create the city with same name? Yeah, with city as, then at the end select star from city. Got it? And then after that you can create the same thing. Before of the city you wanna put semicolon behind of it, before of it. Yeah, got it? Means yeah, that name is allowed, means there is a with same name is allowed in the same session. Then next point is the constraint. So constraint point of view, how many constraint? First of all, primary key, unique key, foreign key. These are the keys constraint. And second thing, there is a not null constraint, check constraint, and default constraint. There are the six constraint total. So out of six, five constraints are allowed for the timetable. Means either global or local, no problem. And for the table variable, yeah, there are five constraints are allowed. Means foreign key is not applicable for the temp table and table variable. Rest of the constraints we can easily apply. And then derived table and city, there is a no any chance to create the constraints on these objects. Got it? Then next thing, drop explicitly, means here temp table we have one facility to drop the objects. Means temporary table we can create, we can drop that particular objects, but in table variable there is a no any need to drop that explicitly in terms of the table variable. And in terms of the derived table and city, yeah, there is a no need, they are just miss wrapper to the select query, so we no need to drop because they are present in the memory. And miss there is a select query is the just, let's say here is example. So select star from, internally there is a select query, means inner in parenthesis there is a select query, and then we are adding the wrapper for it as a t. So we no need to, means no need to drop that particular table, derived table. And then next thing, scope wise, yeah, available to the current session, current user, correct? Here let's say I created this table, correct, hash temp. First of all, I have to drop it, then I can easily explain, or we can create the another session. So here you created it, and here you insert millions of records in it here. Insert, let's say you insert 1 million records, correct? And the second user, Control C, and in second user he will create the with temp table with same name, but he will insert only one row. So both are the same, both are the different because their name is same, but they will act as different. Got it? So scope wise they are different. Means available to the current session, current user. Means current session, this is the one session. SPID is 75 for current user. Got it? And in terms of the global temporary table, available to all sessions, all users. Means let's say here I created the uh, global temporary table. Correct. And it, yeah, there is a, let's say hash temp one. So that will allow, means that can accessible in another session. Select star from hash temp one. Got it? So it is means created at here, but it will allow, means it will accessible in another sessions as well. Means let's say for an example, there is a stored procedure, correct? And in stored procedure, you created the global temporary table. So after the execution of the, means when execution completes of the stored procedure, still you can access the global temporary table, correct? But in terms of the local temporary table, it will not allow. There is a one stored procedure, and in one stored procedure you create the one local temporary table, and once the execution of stored procedure is complete, then it will vanish. There is a, means we can't access that stored procedure temp table. Then next thing, table variable. The scope of the table variable is limited to the specific batch, means batch related things. So first of all, here we created the table variable, correct? And after the go, I'm going to access, select star from temp one hash, sorry, at the temp one. So we are not able to access this. Why? Because there is a batch separator. Go control X, then control V. So you can access at here, but after the go statement, it can't be accessed. Then derived table and CTE, those are limited to the current query, means only that query, not to the further statement. First of all, CTE, where I created, yeah, here. So here is the select star from T. Okay, and I'm going to execute another statement. Select top one from wheel. Okay, and then again I'm going to access the T, means derived table. Can I access it? No, because that scope is get vanished. Means here you are getting the 15K records. Then after that you are getting the top one record from the bill, and here you are going to access the T, means derived table, but you can't access because scope is get vanished. Got it? And same with the city, means after that particular statement, here you are making a semicolon here, and then there is a, I'm going to access the city. So can we access it here? Try, let's try. Yeah, so we can't access that particular city at here. After the immediate statement you can access, but after that you can't. Then yeah, limited to current query. Then use in function. Temp table we can't use in the function. Either it is a local temp table or a global temp table, we can't access it. But table variable we can, and derived table we can access it. City we can, means call it in a using function, or we can use it in a function. Means we have a facility to use three objects, and temp table we can't use in a function. And next, summary point of view or a conclusion point of view, I have to say some tips. Means where to use which object. First of all, this is the common point. For temporary purpose, means to hold the data or to hold the result set for temporary purpose, then we can use this object. But there are some guidelines or there are some conclusions. With the help of that, means we can say, yeah, this situation we can use this object. Yeah, so first of all, I'm ignoring this point right now, and we have to just concentrate here. Means when to use the local template table. When there is a result set is a small or large, we can use it. Then after the data insertion, we can do the indexing on the temp table for faster searching, or constraints we can add. Means let's say, for example, yeah, with the help of example you can easily understand it. First of all, our objective is, there is a table, means select star from bill, correct, means it having the 15K records. And what I will means what I required here, there is a OPD amount and IPD amount. Means what is the collection of the OPD? This is the final bill amount. Okay, so I want the summation of it. And the simple definition means there is a visit ID. Means OPD having the ID, it means that amount is the OPD. And admission ID is not null. It means the that is the IPD, inpatient department. Correct. So I required only four columns at here: bill ID, visit ID, and final bill amount. And from summarized point of view, I want, yeah, OPD X amount, correct. Whatever the amount we have, X amount, and then IPD Y amount. So this is the my requirement. How to do that? First of all, I created here, create the hash temp. Means runtime we can uh, create the table. First of all, I'm dropping that. Okay, it does not exist, so no problem. So directly we can insert the data into the hash temp. Got it? And so here you will get the complete whole amount, means summation amount for that particular um, column, final bill amount. Select star from hash temp. So there are 15K, and whatever the summation of that particular final bill amount, so you will get at here, right? I want visit amount and then admission amount, means there is a OPD amount and IPD amount. So what we are doing here, we will get the OPD amount, correct. And let's say I'm using the flag as a means I'm filtering the condition as a visit ID is not null, means only OPD amount. And here, if you make the execution plan is on, then what will happen? Actually, in table there are 15K records, correct. And if you are going to select at here, there is a actual number of rows to be read, 15K records, and estimated number of rows to be r- for all executions. So 10,000 means it reads, it scans 15,000 records all need to be read. It is required? No, because we want only OPD records, not the IPD records. So what is the condition? Visit ID is not null. Correct. Means that are have those records having the OPD, means there is a visit ID, actual visit ID, then we can consider those records. So for that, I'm creating the one index on it. I'm going to explain you. So first of all, see the query execution, and yeah, the amount is same, but in execution plan, if you see, there is a only actual number of rows to read. Means there is a top six row. There is a 10,000. Correct. Means 5,000 is reduced. Means we didn't check 5,000 records. Why? Because index is already, means index is applied based on this visit ID. Purpose behind of this is explanation is, means after the table creation we can add the index, and then for insertion of the index we don't require the, means insertion of the data in the table, then we don't require the index. Correct. But while searching we require the index. That is the purpose behind of this explanation. And then next thing is the, yeah, if we select it, yeah, you will get, yeah, there are 10K records. Same thing is about the IPD. Means let's say here I'm going to see the admission data. Yeah, means there is a amount, and here you can see table scan is happened. Means for 5,000 records I am scanning the 15,000 records. Correct. So which is not the good case. So what I will do, I will create the index on the admission ID, and it will I include the column as a final bill amount. Actually this is the covering index. So means we are retrieving the data and we are filtering based on the admission ID. So I'm creating the index first. Actually in indexation I will explain all these things, so you will get the clear understanding over that. Time being, just consider, yeah, for insertion point of view, means from DML point of view, we don't require any index. But from searching point of view, we require the index because to search the data very quickly. Got it? And here I am selecting it. Then if you see the execution plan, then you can see there is a 5,000 records are scanned only. No need to scan the 15,000 records. Means suppose, let's say there is a 5 million records in the table. Is it required? No. Why? Because we already created the index on that, and that's why it is the index will consider only 5,000 records over here, and you will get the data very quickly. That is the purpose behind that point. Yeah, this is the long explanation, but yeah, it is the important. Same thing apply for the global template table. Then reporting stored procedure, means let's say uh, there is a Power BI report or a SSRS report or a Tableau report. Behind of that, you are calling the stored procedure. Correct. And or select query or means there is a bunch of queries in the background, and those are retrieving the data from the table. And if you have to do the some aggregation or a calculation behind of that, then you can use the temp table to, means suppose we are grabbing the data from the uh, physical table first, insert into the temp table, whatever the calculations will do on a temp table, and then just select the retrieve, means retrieve the data from that temp table. That's it. Means from that perspective we can use the temp table. And then runtime definition will create at here. Runtime definition, it means, yeah, select star into here, we created it. Correct. So we created, means we didn't create the definition of that hash temp table first and then we are inserting the data. No, here you can directly insert the data. Got it? And yeah, in terms of the global template table, result is, result set is small or large, it's fine. And after the data in insertion, we can do the indexing on the global template table. Means let's say we have to modify the structure, or if we have to add, alter, delete, means add or drop column, or you have to add the constraint or remove the constraint, or there is a index after the table creation, you can do all these operations. Means for the temp table, means there is a local temp table or a global temp table, no problem. And then next thing, yeah, I explained, means there is a install procedure, there is a we have to debug the data, then we can create the global temp install procedure, and after the execution of the stored procedure, it still persists. Local template table not persist, but global template table is persist, so you can check the data of that particular table and from debugging point of view. Got it? And next thing, runtime definition we can create, means instead of the hash we can use the double hash. So you, there is a background global temp will create, actually it is created in another session, so you can't. Got it? So this is the purpose behind of that particular point. And then next thing, means you got the clear idea about the template table, and I hope. And then table variable, table variable, there is a result say it's small or large, you can use the table variable. Means there is a specific need, means suppose you are declaring the table variable and after that there is a no any modification is required, or means once the table variable is declared and after that you are not doing any uh, constraint addition, or there is a column alteration, or there is a we can say index modification in it, then yeah, it is best. And from entity framework point of view, in some cases, hash temp will not support, but table variable will support. So you can use the table variable in that situation. And next thing, derived table and city. So first of all, we will go to the derived table. Means there is a select statement, and inside that there is a complex query. Means let's say, think in this session we seen derived table, correct? So right now this is the very simple query, select star from, means whatever the columns we mentioned from bill table, correct? But here there is a multiple tables, means there are 5 to 6 tables, or there is a functions inside it, or there is a some calculation we used, and we have to add the wrapper for that. And means let's say I have to choose only, means select only one column from that, then you can select that and then you can join with other tables as well at here. So in such a case you can use the derived table. Means let's say whatever the data coming out from it, so we have to create the definition for that table and then insert it and then select it. No need to do that. Here is the same means simple example. Select whatever the column you have to retrieve, you can retrieve and then make the join of it. Means no need to retrieve and insert. Correct. Means that's why I used no need to retrieve and insert at here. And adding the wrapper to the select query and complex query inside. Got it? Means like a subquery. So you actually subquery it is in the where clause, but in in case of the table variable, it is the from clause. Got it? And next thing, from city point of view, when to use the city? There is a complex query inside, means there is a road duplication. Actually, I explained that better point in a road duplication point of view in my video. There is a city, means there is a, if we have to remove the duplicate records and we have to delete that as well, not to identify as well, means we have to identify as well as delete. Then you can do that operation with the help of city. Got it? And recursion point of view, Yes, means there is a employee and manager relationship. So you can do that uh, recursion. You can means using the city. And yeah, no need to retrieve and insert, same thing which we seen in the derived table. So same case will apply in the city. And both the things means there is a here you can retrieve the complexity means complex query inside it, and there is a result set ideally should be a small, because all are in a memory. And if you have to do the large complex operation then yeah, temp table or table variable is the best. But there is a small result set, then you can use the city or a derived table. Still you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. And still one more thing, I skipped 2 points here. Means yeah, if this is just a knowledge point of view, what is the difference between the subquery and derived table? So first point is subqueries are enclosed in the parenthesis, but here derived table must be closed in a parenthesis, but table name will have to provide. Let's say here there is a hash, means here is the after the parenthesis we are providing the t, means it is the table, means a derived table name. Got it? And subquery can have only one column, means let's say subquery is here simple example, select star from, I'm using the another database, select star from department, where department id in, and in parenthesis select department id from employee table. So what you will get here, those department id present in the employee table, only that departments you will get. Correct? So this is nothing but the swap query, means whatever the result come out from it, it will pass to the parent query. Correct? And here we are using the only one column. Got it? And yeah, derived column can have a one or more columns, means let's say here is the bill id and visit id, admission id, we can mention at here. That is the purpose, means in sorry, here s- we used only one column, means select department id. Here we can use the multiple columns, means bill, visit id, admission id, final bill amount. That is the thing. And then it is your choice how many you have to mention, means at least one column you have to mention, it's your choice. Then next point, subquery mainly used in a where clause and derived query is in a from clause. How? Yeah, here there is a, in where clause we are using the subquery, and in the from clause means we can treat it as a derived table. Then next difference, what is the difference between the city and derived table? A city can be referenced multiple times in the same query. So city can be a recursive, but in terms of the derived, we can't do it as a recursive. Actually, in city, so recursion example you will get at here, means same city name we are calling, and so there is a recursion will happen. And next point, yeah, both the structures are good. There is a no any actual difference in between them. So only this is the difference, means you can compare at here as well, means only recursion is the difference in between those, means derived table and city. I hope you got the clear idea about it. If you have any doubts related to the any objects, then let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.